Hello and welcome back to Sisyphus Gaming Channel. Today we are jumping right back into our world. We have very hard combat, very hard raid rate, portals, no map, no portals, and we're getting raided more by little monsters. Also, if I die, everything gets deleted. This is episode number 3 in attempt number 3. The first 2 runs we died. That's okay. That's just part of it. And we're just really just enjoying just being back at it. The first 2 episodes were edited to catch us back up to that progression level, and now we are just going to go back to the regular format of, stream of consciousness. So let's do it. We have a lovely little base. We've got some sweet little carrot set up. We've just defeated the Elder, and so we've got the key, so we can go to the swamps. The Elder is the second boss of this game, and each boss has a biome, for those who don't know. So, for example, we are in the Black Forest right now. The boss of this is the Elder. However, because everything is a big island, you kind of have to sail across the ocean to get there. And that's just the general concept. You start off in a place called the Meadows, and then the third biome is going to be called the Swamps. I'm just saying this for those who are just curious what's going on in this game. I know most of y'all are absolute veterans, so, don't get me wrong there. We had been thinking a little bit about upgrading our axe before we go over to the swamp. The truth is, I'm very nervous to go over to the swamp. It's a bit of it's kind of my kryptonite, right? Like, I get hit by 2 of those Draugr and I'm probably dead because they just hit so hard. Those arrows will do at least around 50, 60 damage easily, and if I've only got 86 to work with, that you can see why that might make me nervous. So that's just sort of the deal. The question is, where is the swamp? How can we possibly win? I have some ideas about how we can just pull up very sneakily while clearing maybe with some arrows, because there's always going to be tons of mobs out there on the surface. We've got plenty of potions, at least, for those sorts of emergencies. The idea right now is more or less, why don't we find a way to upgrade our axe so we can just do a little bit more damage. I don't think shields are really going to work until I have something that's iron, and at the end of the day, I don't really need that much iron. If I could get a stack of 30, I might be able to pull out something pretty solid. I don't have every recipe memorized, but it shouldn't take that many. We really just want the bigger boat, right? Because if we can have a bigger boat, we have a bit more speed, we have a bit more strength, we can survive some of those worst attacks. We are going to want to bring fire arrows. There are some creatures in there that are utterly devastating. We've got the bronze pickaxe. We're going to grab that key. We're going to get more fire arrows. In theory, we might have to kill a couple big bads in there. And it's nice to have some proper arrows when you do that. We've got some really good food. I don't know if you can see this here. No shame in that. So we're just kind of just thinking about our options and how this is going to go. Thinking about exactly what I could possibly need. Seeing if we can't make a bit more bronze. That should be enough to upgrade it a little bit. I wonder if I could even just make... I could make bronze head arrows, to be honest. Sharper than flint, 32 pierce versus the 22 I'm getting here. But to be honest, the fire arrows might just be better in the long run. I think that's just a waste of bronze. The mace is good because it's just faster. I don't really want to invest in weapons until I have a good set of iron. That's just a way. Bronze is so tedious to get. It might be what saves my life, might be not. But if I'm in a situation where I can't back out of a fight, then I made a mistake. It's the way I see it. We would really like to see some turnips soon. You can get some better plants in the swamps as well. To give you a picture of what the swamps look like, I believe there's one right over here. We can actually zoom in a little bit. You see those horribly sickly looking trees over here. And this is, again, it's all procedurally generated, meaning that the map is never predictable. I have no idea where anything is. If I had to guess, we might as well just go check this area out. I don't think there's going to be anything there that we want, but it'd be worth examining, right? I do feel like there's some stuff over in this direction. I feel like I kind of coasted that direction once and I saw some things. But we're going to check that place out first. And we're not actually going to go exploring deep inside because that's so risky when we have much less health, or the enemies do more damage and I do less damage, right? So that's the gambit. What would it take to upgrade? I could have sworn. I just had a bunch of bronze. I lose track of things pretty quickly. That's just the way I am. So a little bit of leather scraps. You know what we really need, though? We really do need an anvil. Oh, we can just put that right there. Very nice. Perfect. Should have some here. I'm hesitant to upgrade it much more. I think this should be fine. Yeah, no shame in that. Don't really think I have any use for this pickaxe. As much as I want to bring like the forge and everything like that, I don't want to encourage myself to stay and do a whole big iron run when I really just need a few pieces. Run in, run out. Quick and clever. Let's get some more stamina potions. Always nice to have. I never, sometimes when you're playing, you don't want to bring a full stack of everything that you have because you're like, oh, if I die, I'll wake up in my bed and then I'll need more potions. But the truth is, if I die, it's game over. So it's like, might as well bring the best of what I got. And that's a much more fun way to play, if you ask me. I was wondering if I could do some upgrades to these. I don't think so. I think it's pretty much maxed out for now. Yeah, we're going to need iron to get there. Or whatever it is. Okay. Well, let's go check it out. I'm not sure what time of day it is. It'd be nice to have like some kind of a clock. Trying to sort of figure out where the sun is headed. If I had to guess as it's going down. Yeah, you can kind of see these rays in the lower left kind of trickling up once, not at a time. Look. Yeah, see how it's kind of, yeah, so the shadows are going, so it is coming down. So I'm not sure how much daylight we have and if it's worth it to go run off and do something foolish. It is tempting though. And being stuck in the swamp could be a death sentence. You know what? We could just do a scouting trip. No shame in that. If we see something easy, we'll grab it, but we probably won't, is the truth of it. The one thing I wish I could hide is this wheel. I wonder if there's a setting. Graphics. I mean, you do need to see how fast you're going, which way you're going. But the truth is, if I could hide that, I'd love to hide that. No, I don't think I can hide it. Alternative glyphs. Interesting. What does that mean? Anyways. This is like a tiny little baby swamp. I'm just gonna hope we don't get stranded on it, doing something foolish. So that trader is just so valuable. When I say trader, I mean the little man who's in that little bubble. I can't actually build in there, but I can build around him. And that bubble is amazing because when monsters are raiding or attacking me, and remember, we've got 3 times raid rate, which means if I hide in his bubble, they actually just give up. Like they get, they can't see me and they run away. It's a very odd effect, but it's very useful when under raid, and that's why I'm choosing to build a main base there. It has some decent proximity to some of these other places. It's close to the spawn, which the truth is it'd be nice to have access to those stones anyways. It's actually, I think it's on the same crammed together continent. There might be a river between them, but it's basically one big continent. This is a bigger area than I thought. It is tempting not to go and explore. a little more. I mean, I really wonder. I didn't realize it was this deep. It certainly is possible. I have to just keep watching where I'm going. It'd be so easy to crash into something and get stranded. Do you see how many just pop up waiting for me? It's so dangerous so fast. So if I started running inland like an idiot, I get surrounded on all sides and I die. Just sort of I'm always asking myself, what kind of risks can I afford to take? What can't I afford? Because one death is, we lose everything. And I love that. I love playing like that. This feeling of the tension. You know, the story writes itself. And I've always struggled with narratives, traditionally designed narratives, because they feel so synthetic. And you understand everybody else is having, you know, even games where RPGs where you're focused on having so many choices. All those choices were still pre-designed, and they're not reactions to, you know, more organic, emergent gameplay. You know, that's why I really enjoy this kind of game where it's just this swamp. Nobody's ever seen this swamp. Nobody's ever going to make the choices that I've made specifically in these situations, and obviously, just more variation and more complexity, the better that gets. In Valheim, you could argue that where we are in this computer age is still very early on as a game design, but this is pretty phenomenal. Nobody's ever explored this particular swamp, and I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Love it. We are not seeing any crypts, which is fine with me, because I'm still quite scared of them. We're just following the coast, seeing what we can see. No shame in it. If we find something, if we do see something, let's see if it's safe enough to just sprint into it and get it. We're going to back the boat up into the shore so that when we need to leave, which could be in quite a hurry, we can just jump and go. We might even... I probably should have brought some wood. That's on me. We're not really here for a lot. Gotta be a bit careful here. I don't have a lot of speed, and they can certainly see those big ugly slugs, those leeches, giant leeches. Horrible little creatures, right? They're a bit fat. I think they might be faster than me. I'm not seeing anything here anyway, so let's just pull out a bit. I believe I do have a poison resistant potion somewhere, but if I do get in trouble, what I can do, I can just log out and you'll lose all those buffs and debuffs. So we definitely didn't realize how big this swamp is, and it's certainly possible that more inland we're going to be seeing those crypts that have the iron that we need. Because if we're going from, you know, bronze to iron, that progression is what we're going for. We're just surveying. This is just a survey trip. And I've been really proud of, frankly, I've been really proud of myself. The edits I did on the last 2 episodes were not just important thematically, because we're trying to catch you guys back up to where we were on attempt number 2, which it's, if you think of it like a season, we had season 1, which was 50 minutes long, and then I died. We had season 2, which was 20 episodes long, and then I died. And now we're on season 3, and it's episode 1. It's a new character every time. So it's almost like there's a word for it. There's a really good word for how TV shows when they break this up, but I utterly forgot it. So if anybody remembers, please post it in the comment. It's sort of the same core concept, but new cast, new story every time. So if you start at season 5, it's not like you don't understand what's happening. You don't have to watch the first 4 seasons. It starts with an A. The word starts with an A, I believe. True Detective is a good example of that. And we're just going to come peek around here because at the end of the day, this could be right what we need, but I do not see it. I almost wonder if I could get one of those. What these giant leeches drop, it's extremely valuable. So I might actually go to an entirely different swamp simply because I did not see one on the coast. And that's what I'm talking about, taking predefined risks. Because I cannot afford to just go running in there like a madman, hoping I don't get one shot by something horrible. With 5 minutes of rested. And that's not how a person would normally play. A normal person would go running in there like a madman, probably die, and then they just come back to where they died and pick up their stuff, keep going. But this world needs me to survive. If I die, the world gets deleted. It's the way she goes. I believe I see another swamp this way. I don't think I'm going to check it out. I just like that it is visible from one to the next. Yeah, I think we're going to go back, get some rest, and then come back and see what we can find over there. There might be one that's closer too. Might be worth going off in a direction like that. Teach them a lesson, huh? A lot of those monsters over there, they can really just lob your health off. So anyway, so yeah, the edited versions are really cool. I was really happy with how they came out. I don't do editing. I've never done editing. It's not something I'm used to. I definitely think the audio for the second episode needed to go higher, so I've been tuning my mic. When I have my Corsair headset on and I've got, volume to the max, it's quite loud. I turned it down a little bit, but I noticed that listening to it on headphones, it's almost like a whisper. So that discrepancy is a bit frustrating for me as a creator. Like, try to get that perfect. And what I actually figured out was that I had all my microphone settings were good, my recording settings were good, but there's so many input sliders for this microphone volume. This is gonna sound so dumb. I didn't think to go and check the microphone input volume in Windows, and so all of a sudden I'm sitting there like, oh, well, that explains it, I also had the Valheim audio very, very, very low, the music and the gameplay and stuff. So I've turned that up because it's really easy for me to adjust in total. I just slide a little slider down and the entire track becomes quieter, and so it's easier to hear my narration. So I'm just learning all these little things, and then the cuts, right? I'm figuring out what's a speed duration and camera angles that don't give people motion sickness. So the first edited episode makes you want to throw up because it's so jarringly fast, and my camera's going like this the whole time, just because it's all sped up. It's comical. The second one, I was like, how about we just chill on that unless it's smooth, and then second, we'll just, if I'm sailing across an ocean, rather than show you the entire ocean, I'll just show the first few seconds of leaving the lands, and then the last few seconds of landing. So we're trying that change up. When there are speed duration changes, it's just for things like digging, which is fairly smooth. I've tried to edit out a lot of the menu stuff too, where I'm just oh, okay, just click, 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 click. It's not very fun to watch a dude mess around with his inventory. So, I'm growing as a creator, as a developer, as a player. It's I might not be subscription worthy for some folks, but everybody has to start somewhere, right? And I'm really just excited to hone my skills just to the bare minimum before Starfield comes out. I'm really excited to make some videos for that. I'm thinking about doing an evil playthrough kind of thing to sort of give myself a bit of a niche appeal. That's the idea, anyway. I believe our little home is just in front of us here. Yeah. That was a nice little scouting trip, though. I'm very happy with that. Absolutely pleasant. Home sweet home, huh? I don't believe we sailed through the night. I should just be coming down tonight now. I am curious about going off in that direction. I believe there might be something out there. a swamp that's a little closer than that one all the way down that way. It won't really matter. Distance won't really matter once we get the bigger boat because it's just so fast. I really, really don't think this game is best played with with portals, to be honest, or with a map. I'm really, if you know, obviously, I think it would be a bit more fun for the average person if you didn't have just one life. But just in general, this feeling of just being lost, having to really master your domain. Even the one life thing adds to it too, to be honest. But I understand it's not. There's a point where immersion begins to drown out enjoyment in general. You know, a lot of people come home from like their hard jobs and stuff. They're not thinking, oh, I really want to start this entire game over again because I made a silly mistake. So now I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah, I've never been invaded by trolls before, and I could really use some wood. It doesn't sound like they're getting anywhere, so I will say that much. Yeah, here he comes. Here he comes. I'm safe if I want to be safe, right? Like, I can just more or less. Yeah, so he's going to go after those things, no problem. We're going to get rested before we try taking a stab at him. We dug a trench out around, so in theory, we should be fine. Oh, we're just going to sleep anyway, whatever. When they leave, they leave. At least it won't be raining and I'll be rested. Very valuable. I'm happy it held up. This is a good base. That's why I dug that whole trench. Yeah, I could just sit in the trader that whole time, but it's nice to actually be able to do things and feel safe at the same time. And I really want to be by the trader, not just for what he has and for the location, but also for the fact that there are future enemies that can fly, and those are a threat for sure. What is he doing? Look at him. Can't really have this guy just waddling around. I'm really happy to see my defenses hold. I remember when I first built my first rock wall for like the first time I played Valheim years ago. I was just like, I felt like I was cheating, like because they weren't destructible. Like these stake walls are destructible, but you know they're over a pit, so it doesn't matter. And these are just to guard me from ranged creatures. Let's get sailing again. Let's go do that. I might be tempted. Bring a different type of food and then a bileberry. So if I actually go inside, I'll have something with me. We can probably start using these extra ones here. It's just a spare. Okay. I think we wanted a bit more wood too, in case we need to repair the boat. Don't want to be in a bad situation. I'm hoping we find a crypt, and that's where I'm going to call it for today. I think that would be a decent little video. Once we find a crypt that has a good chance of success. Oh, here we go. These fools. Chop, chop, chop. One thing that I'm really enjoying is that you can switch to the hammer to avoid... I've got no health. That's comical. No shame. Oh, shoot. I did not see him. I think he's left over from one of the earlier raids. I think when they get damaged somehow, Looks like a skeleton might, or something might have hit him. When they get damaged, they tend to stick around rather than vanish. Like you saw that troll just disappear, which is actually unusual. It's because it's a spawned-in entity. I wonder if it's the programming is very strange. But if I had engaged with him more, he wouldn't have disappeared. And most trolls, obviously, they don't just disappear if you're not looking at them. So it could feel very touch and go. All right, we got some food. We got whatever else we need. Don't think we're gonna be gardening, so I might as well put that back. Just hope for the best. I think I prefer some meat in me. Not like I don't have it. There's no excuse. All you inventory managers out there are thinking, oh, here we go. Checking every chest for the one thing he needs. Alright, that's fair. That's that's a fair. You got me there. Yeah, let's do this. We're actually gonna bukeberry. I want a little bit more health in me. Yeah, so the way food is directly related to your health and your stamina. So there are items to get rid of the food so that you can eat again. And the animation is puking. So for anybody who was shocked by whatever that was, there you go. This will probably be enough. We can probably just leave this here. I don't think I need the honey. We got 3 proper ones. Let's bring a bukeberry or 2. I was a little bit nervous with that jogger right behind me, but I think we're okay now. Let me get some stone. I should have some just rocks just lying around. Yeah, just need 1 more. I want to be able to build a little fort if I desperately need to. Alright, now we got a bit more health. We can actually take a little bit of damage. Oh, look, you got over here. My dock. Oh, no. There we go. All right, off again. We're just going to try going straight out. And if we see those sickly looking trees, we'll be unlucky. It will save us a good bit of headache from having to go all that way again. We do need to keep an eye on like what direction this is. So I might have to look back at the videos to actually find where we live. But it's in this area. It's under this little branch right there, right? Comes in from there. Got this big sucker here. Might have to draw a map of it just to figure out exactly where. And it comes out from there. There might be swamp that direction, but I just want to check this area. I'll also place a directional marker wherever we end up landing. You know, I'm not actually going that far out. I don't know if you can see this, but what's really happening is I didn't realize how sharp that angle was. That's interesting. See, we've already almost lost sight of where we're from. I had thought that there was something over here, but I was wrong. I mean, there very well could be a swamp right there. Yeah. Let's check up here. We know where one is for sure. It's just around that corner. We'll get there when we get there. I tell you what, I think it's been a good bit of time. I'm going to call this an episode right here. I'm having a great time, lads. Well, actually, let's get to some piece of land so we can get. I don't like logging off in the ocean because nobody likes to wake up while floating, soaking wet. Nobody likes waking up soaking wet. Usually it means something went terribly wrong. Keeping an eye on it there. The only compass we have is this tree, basically, more or less. Sort of the sun too, but it's not as useful. Might land on these little islands. We know where we are. Oh, here we go. I think this is what I had seen before. This is what I was looking for. Okay, and the wind is helping us. Great. Great, great, great. This is very good, actually. Wow. If we just find one crypt, we'll be in the money. I mean, because again, we don't really need a lot of iron, but we do need a little. It's very hard to decide what to cook first, other than the boat. This makes me nervous. I don't like sailing in between swamps simply because it's so easy to get trapped. Those little reeds and sandbars pop up, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by enemies, and you can't move your boat. I would not be the first to suffer that fate, or the last. This is a good little thumbnail. Too small. Those trees are deceptively large, right? They make you think that it's a bit bigger than it really is. They're just a little swamp island. No wonder they're so miserable. Now we're going to turn back, hit home. And for the next video, we're going to end up going for that segment that we saw that we didn't explore. There probably is more swamp in that direction, but that's not my problem. We're just kind of going for the easy pickings. I bet that one is. Look how low and flat it is, right? Like, that's classic swamp territory. He's similar to that. Whereas, you know, Black Forest has got these hills, these undulating hills. Undulating. Is it a j or a duh? Don't ask me. I'm only an English major. $80,000 not know how to pronounce undulate. Maybe let's just say it's dialectal. Yeah, that sounds like a clever person's excuse. Depends where you are. I was just really proud of the edits, I'll be honest. Like, if you guys get a chance to watch episode 1 and 2, or if you already have, thank you. Leave me your thoughts and comments, how I can make it better. Obviously, I'm very new at this, just want to learn the ropes. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. I was just figured, you know, hey, it's going to be a great opportunity to learn it. You know, you miss 100% of the shots that your doctor tries to give you because you're scared of needles, as the saying goes. Oh, that's the one thing you can do. If you jump out of the boat, it freezes in place. So I hope that explains that. All right, everybody. Thank you once again. Back to the, you know, I got to make like a real like roost here because I always end videos in this like little lovely place. It's just a great place to reflect and think. I got to make like a proper like tower to sit in. We'll see. All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.